I'm Peggy Fowler. PGE employees have been serving Oregon customers for more than 100 years. From replacing a street light to making sure our homes are warm and bright. And many employees work behind the scenes, doing specific jobs to maintain PGE's system to the highest standards. In fact, nearly 350 PGE employees are working with our company's critical systems and equipment to address Y2K associated computer problems. In 1996, before most people had even heard the term Y2K or Millennium Bug, some employees were already developing a strategy for tracking Y2K associated problems. Still, because our world has become so interconnected, nobody can say exactly what's going to happen when the calendar flips to January 1st, 2000. I first came to PGE 25 years ago as a chemist, and one of the things I've been most impressed with as a scientist and a businesswoman is the meticulous care that's been given to preparing PGE for Y2K. We're doing it because providing safe, reliable power is our job. We're doing it because electricity brings light and energy to every aspect of our lives. But most of all, we're doing it because we know you depend on us.
Y2K, on just about everyone's mind these days, for good reason. Whether we're aware of it or not, computers make our lives easier 100 times a day. As Peggy Fowler said, having our mission-critical systems Y2K ready is a top priority at PGE. And all but 2 of our mission-critical items were Y2K ready by June 30th, 1999. But we don't stop there. PGE will be working throughout the year to address the remaining items and less critical systems, and to develop contingency plans. Portland General Electric is serving more than 1.4 million people in Oregon, including most of the metropolitan Portland area. That's 45% of Oregon's population and nearly 2/3 of Oregon's entire economic base. Our service territory is home to a rapidly expanding high-tech industry and one of the fastest-growing economies in the country. Our customers are spread across more than 3,000 square miles and are served by more than 24,000 miles of poles and wires and more than 160 substations. PGE also operates 8 hydroelectric dams and 6 thermal plants. Beginning in 1996, PGE developed a plan that involves 5 steps: inventory, assessment, remediation or fixing, testing, and preparing contingency plans. The first step, and the most difficult, involved a thorough inventory to identify date-sensitive equipment. As many of us know, the so-called Y2K bug isn't a bug or computer virus at all. It's a problem early computer programmers built into their systems when they used 2 digits to represent the year instead of 4 to save precious memory space. So when the calendar flips from 99 of 1999 to 00 of 2000, some systems or equipment might read the 00 as 1900, causing data errors and a state of technological confusion. The PGE team looked for Y2K problems that might be hiding in computer hardware and software and general system applications. We also searched for embedded chips that are date sensitive. Because of the sheer size of our company, this step took nearly 18 months, and our internal assessment was backed up by outside Y2K experts. Once PGE identified problem components, the teams evaluated their impact. The goal was to determine which items were critical to our ability to provide our customers with reliable power, and which items were critical to public safety. Surprisingly, more than 1/3 of the items PGE assessed had no impact whatsoever, and less than 8% of those were identified as critical to safety and reliability. Embedded chips, those mini processors that help operate everything from your home VCR to sophisticated global satellite tracking systems, account for fewer than 350 items in only 19 of our critical systems. PGE's next step is remediating, applying appropriate fixes to systems, chips, and equipment before testing. Once repairs are installed, PGE tests the equipment. Often this is as simple as taking a system offline, moving the clock ahead to key Y2K dates, and testing its ability to operate. In the final phase, PGE develops contingency plans, to address any problems that may occur. PGE's Year 2000 project is well-staffed and well-funded. Some of PGE's best and brightest are working long hours on Y2K, more than 350 employees by mid-1999. By New Year's Day 2000, there'll be only a handful of employees who haven't been touched by or contributed to our Year 2000 project. And yet, PGE, in fact most companies, still can't give a 100% guarantee to customers that they won't experience some inconveniences as a result of Y2K. Why? Well, the answer can be reduced to a single concept. Our world has become highly technical and interdependent. On even our most boring day, our lives interact with the products of thousands of hands, a million decisions. Think about your phone, your favorite computer game, that last stoplight, even a carton of milk. Try to imagine what goes into getting that product to your table. Before the milk reached your supermarket, the cows had to be raised, nourished by feed, which first had to be grown, harvested, shipped, and stored for distribution. The milk was transported, pasteurized, and then, with utmost care, it was packaged so it could be loaded onto more trucks for the trip to your nearby grocer. Think about how many people and how many different industries were involved, from cows to carton companies. And of course, think about how much electricity contributed to the whole process. We live in a very complex and interconnected world, and nowhere is that more evident than in the electric utility industry. Remember when we told you that PGE distributes electricity along a 24,000-mile-long system of poles and wires? As big as that may seem, PGE is a member of a much larger system, the Western Systems Coordinating Council. It's an organization of utilities and power companies from 14 Western states. This group oversees what we call the Western Grid, a web of interconnecting utilities and power generators that covers about 1.8 million square miles and serves 65 million people. Working together, the members of the WSCC are constantly balancing electric load, the amount of electricity generated and transmitted along our intricate system of poles and wires, against customer demand. It's a complex balancing act that's invisible to our customers, but's been going on for more than 40 years. So, while we're very proud of our efforts to address Y2K, because PGE is so intricately connected to other utilities, it's impossible to say there'll be no problems whatsoever. While numerous safeguards are in place, if several large utilities experience problems, it might affect the system. But WSCC members are held to the same high standards that PGE is following, standards established by the North American Electric Reliability Council and other organizations. And like PGE, other utilities have worked towards getting their critical systems Y2K ready by June 1999. And recent government reports indicate that the electric industry is going to be Y2K ready long before New Year's Day. The WSCC is most likely the largest example of the thousands of interconnected relationships PGE depends upon every day. Our company has been working with many vendors, suppliers, and contractors to receive assurances that they too are taking a stance against Y2K that is as aggressive as PGE's. While this may be a little unsettling, at PGE there are many things working in our favor. First, a tremendous wealth of expertise and experience. Second, while we use sophisticated equipment to manage our business, many of the processes at our generators, dams, and substations haven't changed that much in 50 years or more. The equipment is originally built with manual controls, and those manual controls are still operable in case problems should arise. Third, PGE's commitment to customer service. The Oregon Public Utility Commission, the agency that oversees utilities operating in Oregon, regularly tracks consumer comments. PGE is proud of the fact that no other utility in the state rates higher on this OPUC report, indicating our level of customer service and responsiveness is unparalleled by other major utilities in the state. And finally, if Y2K can be likened to a storm, we have a tremendous advantage here too. Because our region is prone to severe winter storms, PGE is experienced in handling these challenging situations. We can predict with 100% accuracy that we in the Northwest will face a barrage of fierce storms over the next 10 years. Snowstorms, windstorms, ice storms, all are typical of our Northwest winters. And certainly we're not immune to earthquakes or flooding. But unlike the weather, we can't predict what effect, if any, Y2K will have on our customers. PGE can guarantee we will be ready to respond. If an outage should occur, for any reason, here's what you can do. For many years, PGE has been recommending that every customer assemble a simple outage kit. Flashlights, fresh batteries, a battery-powered radio with extra batteries, a manual can opener, and a battery-powered or wind-up alarm clock. Other handy items include bottled water, a thermos, disposable plates and utensils, extra blankets or sleeping bags, firewood and kindling. And follow the easy steps outlined in this booklet available from PGE.
For more than 100 years, Oregonians have depended on Portland General Electric to supply safe, reliable power. That's our top priority. PGE is more than just a company. We're your neighbors. We number more than 2,500 men and women. Many of us have decades of experience in the power industry. We answer your phone calls about your electric statement. We visit your house monthly to read your meter. We're on call day or night to restore power. And we look forward in the next 100 years to providing that same kind of quality service and responsiveness that you've come to expect. No one really knows what will happen as the clock turns over the century and the millennium. But I can tell you that if problems should occur, PGE will be ready.
For regular updates on our progress, visit the PGE webpage at www.pgeonline.com.